Well, and obviously all this debate is about the IEBC and how that commission, according to the opposition code, needs to go home. As it is, there's quite a flurry of activities involving members of parliament. One side of the debate, I'll be bringing you the proposal that is coming through, that is from the Legal Affairs Committee led by Samuel Chepkonga. But there's about 150 members of parliament who are coming up with another proposal or a way to figure this out. And I'm joined now by Kitutu Chache South,
yes.
Mr. Richard Onyonka. Karibu sana to the program.
Thank you.
What exactly is this, you and colleagues,
Yes.
about 150 are here, what exactly are you trying to achieve and what is it that you're doing?
Well, I wanted to say that what we are trying to do is to figure out a way on how we can stop what you see happening on our TV screens. For the simple reason that we believe that this matter can be sorted out amicably. We believe that all the political players, if they decide to sit down and engage legitimately and honestly, that they will come up with a solution on what needs to be done to the IEBC. The catch-22 we are in is that you don't wake up one morning and just make a unilateral decision and a declaration that the IEBC has to go. I mean, there are certain rules. The Constitution stipulates very clearly that you have to make sure you don't violate their rights, blah, blah, blah. Now, the problem we have is that there are two sides to this. One side is saying certain things, and the other side is saying certain things, and actually, both sides are making sense.
So that's the question then.
Yes.
You are, of course, politicians. You
Yes.
subscribe to either of these parties.
Yes.
So at what point do you say, well, we've dropped our partisan position
Yes.
and sort of try to adopt something that, again, is not inside the Constitution, about all these MPs sitting down? How are we going to sort out this outside the Constitution?
We believe that last week when we met, initially the group was a number of 50 members of parliament. We said we are not going to sit around and watch and look the country going the way it's going. For many of us, we were there in 2007 and 2008. What you see happening is actually a preamble for what is going to happen in the coming elections. Unless we decide to discuss and engage each other, unless we decide to make sure that this matter is solved amicably. The truth is, everybody agrees, Kenya needs a believable election. Kenya needs a referee who's going to be seen to be free and free from intervention from any quarter. And Kenya needs to have an Electoral and Boundaries Commission which is seen to be believable and trustworthy.
And the problem that you have as well,
Yes.
do the Jubilee members of parliament
Yes.
inside this caucus of some sort, do they have the blessing of Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto?
The
Do they?
truth, I can tell you this, Smart. We have been engaging everybody. We have met Deputy President William Ruto. There's a team that has not met the president, but they are trying to look for him so that we can have a word with him. We want to meet with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga so that we can tell him what we feel. There is a group that is going to meet Honorable Wetangula tomorrow. There's another group that is going to meet the Speaker Justin Muturi and the Speaker Ekwe. The general feeling that many of us have, and many members of parliament, in fact, the number 150 is most probably going to become 250.
But Mheshimiwa,
Yes.
to be fair,
Yes.
you're not just any other ordinary Kenyans. You have some power, some responsibilities. You've been elected by
Yes.
certain people,
Yes.
most of you are 150,
Yes.
to sit in the organ that actually makes laws for this country.
Yes.
If all of you 150 of you feel that there's something wrong,
Yes.
and it cannot be sorted out, why haven't we seen 150 members of parliament in a sitting of parliament,
Yes.
either discussing or giving some legal proposals out of this?
I believe if you watch tomorrow when Parliament is, we have been in recess. All these activities have been taking place for the last 1 month when Parliament has been in recess. I can assure you, watch tomorrow and day after, you're going to see more than 200 members of Parliament sitting down, and we are going to start telling our principals that they must be able to sit down.
Is that a promise? You're telling Kenyans that we'll have more than 150 members of parliament in a sitting of the
They
House?
have already signed onto it and they will sit. And let me tell you this, Smart. None of us are going to be intimidated by our party positions. That is why we are saying this matter can be resolved at the parliamentary sitting. We can bring in a bill, we can bring in a motion and discuss all that thing, all that the Kenyan public expects. The issue that is there is that we have now gone beyond the normal and easy boundaries of our political situations. We have decided we are Kenyans, and members of parliament are saying we are going to declare our true position on this matter, whether our party leaders agree or disagree with us. At least we'll table this.
Okay.
If the party leaders refuse,
Yes.
the Kenyan public will know that we do not support the fact that the country is being burnt and we are watching.
I want to talk to you more about the party leadership and the partisan issue, but
Yes.
there is something that has been happening while the street battles and confrontations have been going on, and grandstanding continues. The Justice and Legal Affairs Committee has a draft proposal which they hope they will break the deadlock over IEBC. Now, Samuel Chepkonga team proposes that the next IEBC commissioners should be in office on part-time basis. The team also now proposes a vetting process for staff working in the commission for more than 2 years to be vetted to ensure they are fit. Now, if these recommendations are to sail through, they also seek to empower Parliament in the appointment of commissioners, giving both Jubilee and CORD a say in the selection panel. They will have 2 members each, while the Public Service Commission will nominate about 3 members. Also, the powers of the President to appoint commissioners have substantially been checked. He will only receive names of 9 members who will then proceed to appoint from the selection panel. Mheshimiwa, are these kind of the proposal that you're looking at?
Yes, but there are many more. In fact,
for example, what?
For example, there are many of us who are saying, I'll give you an example. One of the major outstanding issues in this whole debacle is that the biometric registration exercise failed because the machines were not working. So as a result, you couldn't even know how many people were going to vote or how many voted and what the tally figures were. So what we are saying is this: we need to start discussing whether the elections, when they're being tallied, just the way votes for the MCA, votes for the governor and the senator were being tallied at the polling station, is it not necessary now, because the machines may not work anyway, if we can also tally the votes for the presidential election?
But all these things are present and are important, but we are about 3 or 4 years into this election.
Yes.
We've not seen you and other members of Parliament raising these issues seriously. There have been serious issues.
That is true.
Why haven't you raised
Simply
this?
because, I mean, smart. Let's try and be a little bit more smarter than this. You deal with issues according to how they come. We never thought that the elections as such were really tainted, or whether they had an issue other than what was ruled on by the Supreme Court after the presidential election. Many of us were elected by the same IEBC that we are saying is not a good commission. What we are saying is the moment is now, and we need to start to begin to interrogate ourselves whether the systems we have can function, whether that is the IEBC or whether this is a biometric machine.
So this is the question. This is the question, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
The fact that there are many of you members of Parliament who right now believe that there's something that has to be done, that we have a problem at our hands.
Yes.
Why are the party leadership, or the bosses, if you like, not speaking the same? Why are we seeing grandstanding from both sides?
But Kenyan politics is like that. Most probably people want the country to burn, and then we start talking again. Many of us are saying we don't want this country to burn. We want to talk before you burn the country. If we don't see that this country is going to burn, it happened in 2007, and everybody used to say it can't happen, it won't. It happened. And Kriegler himself said, if we don't fix this issue, when the next elections come and you have an issue about the voting structures in this country, 2007 post-election violence will be a child's play.
So what do you say about people who say that there's substantially no problem with the electoral, not only commission, but the entire, system? It went well, and like you've mentioned in this interview,
that's true.
It votes. I mean, the governors, they had issues. Some had issues. MPs, some had issues.
Yeah, that's true.
MCs had issues, but substantially it passed.
But there have been issues which have been raised that members of the IEBC actually may not have, under Chapter 6, the credibility to run the institution. There have been issues raised about the tallying of the elections from the voting station to the tallying headquarters in Nairobi, that when you use that using biometric registration and using electronic transfer of the results, something can happen. What we are saying is this: let us put structures into place where you have an election which is believable. Even if you were to challenge it, then you can actually say, I tried my best, but in reality I lost legitimately. The situation you have right now is that both Jubilee and CORD still say, both of us, that the IEBC has a believability problem. And if that is the case, let's fix it.
They don't think so.
As far as we are concerned, they don't have to think so. The Kenyan public does not give them a lot of support on that. And the reality we have is this country deserves people who are nationalists. And if I was Hassan, I would actually think that even when he may not have committed any crime, he needs to think about whether he can leave or not. I think it is legitimate. He would actually be a hero for him to say, look, if you think I'm the problem, I'm walking out, you do what you want.
Right.
And then he will take the ball right back to the executive and right back to the opposition.
So the problem with that is this, yes? That we're saying the commissioners are the problem, or we have a system that's a problem, because this is double.
We have a system failure.
Yeah, we have
a system failure. And unless we fix the system failures, the reality is whoever that you bring will have the same problem.
So 14 months to the elections?
Yes.
Do you believe if we have enough time to elect new people and then talk about the system failure?
I believe that.
Do you honestly believe?
I believe that can be done. But I also think we have enough time to run the elections, maybe even 2 months later or 3 months later.
All right, so part of the proposal is to have these elections in December.
If that is the necessity, if that is the devil we have to pick up, we'll pick the devil.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. You've done all right. Talking there to Kititu Church South Member of Parliament, Richard Onyonka, there quite eloquently put. We have a problem in this country and we need to fix it. This is Monday Night News. I'm taking a short break. Don't go too far because you have plenty more on the other side of the break.